And a good evening to you, Triad area. Tim Buckley with you, Chief Meteorologist here at WFMY. Checking in for your Monday evening. It is 6:30 here. We're going to talk all about your weather impact across the area, across the state of North Carolina. And it was another day so far, and not over yet, that we're going to continue to track some showers and storms. That's kind of been the way that it's been for a long while. You know, it's been basically about 2 weeks or so in this weather pattern where we continue every day right around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Starting to see those showers and storms popping up. So where do we go from here? Why do I think there will be some changes? There will be changes this week that'll go away from the stormier pattern and go toward a little bit of an easier pattern, a little bit of a less stormy, less floody, less hot, and less humid weather pattern. So let's get right to it. This is your long extended forecast. So we're going to take a look here at the forecast in our area. But what I first wanted to do is actually start by showing you part of our time-lapse image from the area earlier today. This is from Winston-Salem. So take a look at this. This is going to be what we're looking at around 3:30 this afternoon, and something that you might have seen so often over the weekend and over the last couple of weeks are these things called shelf clouds. A shelf cloud is a very long, very dark, very scary looking thunderstorm cloud. It goes in advance of a thunderstorm. So I'm going to take a look at this time lapse and show you how it moved and how it worked on a day like today in Winston-Salem. So let's take a look. Notice those darker clouds forming right out ahead of the thunderstorm. Then you get the downpour style rain. That's the first play. I want to go through it one more time just to kind of show you what happens here. So before the thunderstorm arrives, what you see happening right about here, this is that push of cooler air outside of a thunderstorm. And then on the flip side, you have warmer air out ahead of it, rising above it, and that's doing condensation. So that's where you're getting that cloud. It's just a push of cooler air running ahead of a thunderstorm. It can be a severe thunderstorm. It doesn't have to be. In this case today, it was kind of just a run-of-the-mill thunderstorm that was happening. But in any case, it always looks spooky. We always get a lot of pictures. We always get a lot of people freaked out by it, and I get it because they look kind of scary. But nothing to worry about the rest of the day today for the most part. Let's show you the latest live radar. This is where we are right now. That line of showers and storms moved in from northwest to southeast. So as we go through the rest of the evening, most of those storms are pushing away from us at this point. Now, right now, the one exception to that is kind of a new line or a new cluster of storms that's forming. So if you're watching us from up in Surrey County or Yadkin County, anywhere up in the foothills, this is an area that I'm keeping an eye on. Not expecting severe weather out of it, although I will tell you there was a little bit of rotation, which I found pretty interesting. If we take another look at this, there is some motion to the ocean here. Take a look from Shoals up by Pilot Mountain. When we see those reds and greens up against each other, that does indicate some rotation in the storm. I'm not worried about tornado development or anything like that, but just kind of found it interesting. But if you're in these areas, you're getting some rain, you're getting some downpours. It's pushing into Yadkin County. And on a wider view, you'll notice that's kind of the only storm left in our area right now at about 6:33. The other ones, they've all gone to the south and to the east, and they've kind of fizzled out. They got weaker and weaker as they moved along. So just a little bit of thunder and lightning left over in Montgomery County, in Richmond County and Anson counties too. And one other thing to point out on the radar, sometimes you can get these outflow boundaries or gust fronts or shelf clouds on the radar. What we're seeing right now is an example of that. So let me pause it, working our way back a couple frames. You see that little greenish area over here in Chatham County? That's what we would call the gust front. So what that is, that's that cooler air rushing out ahead of the storm, and it's kind of making itself known and it's visible on radar. And when you see that happen, you ever stand outside and it's a storm day and all of a sudden the temperature drops like 10 to 15 degrees out of nowhere? That's a sign that the storm is coming. And once that happens, you're getting one of these gust fronts to move into your area. You are going to see some change from that. And the storm is usually not that far behind. Let's take a look at rainfall totals. You know, that's been a big focus over the last couple of weeks. We've had one of the wettest Julys on record across our area. What was the rain amount for today? Well, of course, it was very scattered and haphazard. The rain total's not uniform all across the area. But what we've been seeing There was a narrow, heavier area, about 1 to 2 inches in parts of Forsyth County earlier. Rockingham County got a lot of rain from Madison to Mayodan over toward Wentworth as well, 1 to 2 inches. Out in Surrey, where we were just looking at the radar, about 1 to 2 over that way as well. So some pretty hefty rainfall amounts. We did have some gusty winds with some of these showers and thunderstorms. Winston-Salem gusted up to about 36 miles per hour. As far as rain amounts, it varies place by place, but we do harp on and we do show the PTI rainfall numbers pretty frequently. Always good to kind of check out on where they are. And I'll tell you, this is pretty impressive. 9 inches of rain now for the month. That's after a small amount today. 9 inches of rain is insane. It really is. And keep in mind, we still have about 9 days to go. Burlington, at last check, was over 16 inches of rain for the month. So no matter how you slice it, there's been a ton of rain on the way. So showers and storms, there's still a chance of 1 or 2 as we go through the rest of this evening. But I want to make sure you know the weather is about to change. We're going to have a pretty big change in that weather pattern going into tomorrow. And why? Well, what you have is high pressure up here in the northeast, and that's going to finally start to kind of slide some cooler, less humid air into our area. Now, it's not going to be terribly dramatic. It's not going to be fall. It's not going to be spring. But what it is it's not going to be as steamy as it's been. And it should also kind of put the kibosh on all the thunderstorms, all right? We'll put a lid on them anyway. So tomorrow, still a small chance of a shower, mostly in our southern counties. But for Wednesday, that should be dry across the state and a little bit less humid, so improvement there. And then as we go forward, most of the rest of the week should be pretty storm-free. So I'm encouraged, once you get past today and a little bit into tomorrow, there's a small chance of rain tomorrow in the southern counties. We're pretty much dry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all looking to be pretty good there for the rest of the week. I'm only forecasting small chances for rain, just at 20% for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So things are improving. The chance of rain will go up a little bit on the weekend, back to more of a pop-up storm pattern. But as far as the humidity trend goes, you'll notice it's a little bit less humid, a little bit more comfortable by Tuesday evening, Wednesday, and again into Thursday. I'm going to leave you with a 7-day forecast here. Temperatures in the 80s for tomorrow. We're not going to have 90-degree heat. That's the case for the next couple of days. That's an improvement. And what you'll also find, no thunderstorms roaming about our area for a little while. We're going to be right back with a look at entire Carolinas and everything going on weather-wise.